News. The bulletin is coming to you live from our studios here in Kokomlimle's Joy 99.7 FM in Ho. You can also download the My Joy Online app from Play Store and App Store to listen live on the internet. In this edition, two young seen. Also, Ghana Education Service postpones reopening of school for final year SHS students as Conference of Heads of Assisted Schools cites congestion for it in that decision.
Most frustrating thing I've ever been through.
We have details of that. Also, government urges Ghanaians to be calm as grid
the contractors to finish in time so that we can enjoy the improvement we so deserve.
Talking of very high voltage, this one, if you joke with it, you will burn. You'll be charcoal.
You want to stay for details of that. Also in sports,
referee Charles Bull is still capable of officiating top-level matches. There's
sclerosis, malaria and HIV/AIDS combined. We have more for you as we gear up for the premiering of our latest hotline documentary. Thanks so much for making time to be with us. We are your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism. This afternoon, the said incident which occurred at Kaswa Lamte in the Owutu Senya East municipality in the central region left many shocked. As Maxwell, first off, you are at the crime scene. Describe to us what you see. Him shortly. He will also be telling us what transpired in court earlier today. Those two young men we're told you shortly when we're joined live by my colleague Maxwell Agbagba from the crime scene with details. But I'll turn our attention to postpone the reopening of final year students to fit May. According to GES, they took this decision following a proposal. At first, here are a number of parents and students complaining about this sudden development.
We get up very early. By 4:10 has changed from today to 5th May. Air boarding students to school doesn't, it requires so much as compared to just students to school. And then you tell us that school is not reopening. So I got down, I was in the school then, so I got down to find out from the authorities. So when I was there, I saw other parents coming, and it was the most frustrating thing I've ever been to, But we've been told school has been postponed. Reopening has been postponed for 4 weeks. All the beds are occupied and there's no space.
What we are saying is that if this information was passed yesterday, 2 things for the children to go back to school is unacceptable. It's not right. Some students are already in school. Some are at the park. Some are halfway. We can't even get the driver to turn the children back. It's very frustrating. I think we should.
So this statement posted on the GES Facebook page says management has considered a proposal from Charles and has therefore revised the students' single-track and double-track schools. Further details will be announced. All other arrangements on the calendar remain unchanged.
So that's the
Kub A.B. Abukari, who is the president of Charles. This development is as a result of congestion in senior high schools, and so they made 19 protocols. They said that they made 2 proposals to GES. First, a proposal that they should,
given the numbers that we have in the school, and with the break that month, stay at home so that all the Form 3s could come to school, given the numbers that we currently have at our respective schools. Alternatively, we currently announced the 5th of May to enable us contain all the Form 1s that will be in school, and then the goal.
So you heard there the president of the Conference of Heads of Assisted Schools, Abubakar Yakub, there speaking to my colleague with the charges of conspiracy to commit murder and murder. Maxwell Agbagba is following the story for us. He joined occurred.
Yes, MFA, I'm currently here at the crime scene. Quite a number of people. A boy was actually buried. The shovel that was used in digging the shallow grave as evidence, but the pickaxe head itself is here. And then the broken concrete block it's very close to the residence of one of the suspects involved in this act. Quite a number of people.
Well, you are in court and the police have been narrating how this gory incident actually occurred. What did they say?
2 accused persons have for some time been watching television programs with spiritualists talking about the ability to make a human body part for the rituals. We're told that they armed themselves with a club, cement block, and laid siege at an uncompleted building. The initial plan was to kidnap the boy and demand a ransom of 5,000 cedis. When they realized this would be a difficult task, earlier, which is still here, which killed him instantly. Police says has been revealing in court also that the quota raging to the spiritualist. A sister of one of the suspects saw what happened and reported to her father, who later went to the scene and discovered the body of the April 20. But as I speak to you now, scores of people have gathered at the residence of the 10-year-old boy. We are told that they want to bury him, right, so they can send it to the cemetery for burial.
Now, Maxwell, just before I let you off, we're told earlier that the spiritual...
That they are still trying their best to arrest the said spiritualist. They said as it stands now, investigations are ongoing now, but they say that very soon they'll be doing that.
Well, the ages of these two young men, has it been established now? How old really are they?
Ada, the second accused person, is 16 years.
Well, that's my colleague Maxwell Agbagba. Thank you very much. And we have more subsequently and also on myjoyonline.com. This is the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. We experienced in parts of the country. The Energy Minister, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, spent time this morning at the Ghana Grid Company to acquaint.
The project is an ongoing project, so it's not about finances. It's just that if you are renovating your house, sometimes it's more complicated than T65. The power it was supposed to transmit, Accra has expanded tremendously. So they are giving us power is the best for them.
So within the foreseeable future, will there be other infrastructure upgrades needed to sustain? Outcry that we may be returning to a similar situation.
We should all be truthful in our communication. It's a generation problem. In 2016, even the opposition talked about the government don't have the money to buy fuel. This is not a generation problem for 4 years. Is that what we are saying? No. Some of the system, because of the challenges, the reason why the system abuse are being done.
So that's the Energy Minister, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh. So where exactly are we in the replacement of obsolete transmitting lines with the new one?
The transfer capacity between Volta substation in Temahia and Accra, it will increase it from about 400 megawatts to about half such high capacity. It means that you can take off any of the adjacent lines and nobody will feel that somebody have to take off load maybe in Accra East, East Legon or somewhere near Achimota. So 161,000 volts. Even in our homes, there are 240 volts. If you joke with it, you'll be charcoal. We'll arrange with them so that whatever outage they record of maybe 1 or 2 weeks, there will be an outage. So we will sit down with ECG to make sure that the impact will be...
With Gridco Uswifri also talks about the completion schedule.
For instance, we cross roads or we have houses, allows us to cross the road without having any impact on the road users. We are going to have more power transferred from the Volta substation to Achimota substation to our customers. This project is expected to be completed by September 2021.
Well, meanwhile, accomplished a global financial
thing that you got to do is to be able to have capacity, and you need slightly excess capacity, able to use that capacity. You actually have to ensure that that capacity is fed through the system. And I think part of the problem that we have is feeding the elect monies that have been used to generate and distribute, and therefore to make sure that the cycle...
Also urged government to be measured in its expectation of reviving the economy following the impact of COVID-19.
The world. As I see the current budget, it is as if you're moving free that is being canvassed is very ambitious. The impact on the economy might not yield the policy in that regard.
He also described as regressive the raft of taxes that target consumption.
The same proportion as the poor pay. Look, you see, when it comes to contributing to national development, you have to contribute, means go and run a hospital as if you're a doctor. So
that's the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. Our top stories: 2 young men alleged to have killed 10-year-old boy slapped with frustration and concern among parents and students. When we return, we'll take you around the country and then also road accident. Our latest hotline documentary crashed on Monday.
Juje, Radio Hogba in Angloga, Clenham Radio Bato, Victory FM Aplao. In the Eastern region, we're on Cape. Upper East region, we're live on A1 Radio and Dreams FM in Bogatanga and Radio Fumbese in Fumbese. In Upper West, we're live on Radio Sonmale in Wa, Radio Freed in Nandonyai. Central region, we're live on ATL FM in Cape Coast, and in the Western region, we're on Radio Max in Takrady.
Hello, Mubarak.
Hi, MFA.
What's in sports?
Yeah, and the CAF referees assessed Alex Corte whilst officiating a match involving Ivory Coast and Ethiopia. He was subsequently hospitalized for 3 days, and many fear the country might lose one of his.
From my chat with them, they left their hotel around 9:30 in the morning. You know, the match was at 1 p.m. Very sunny, hot weather. You know, on that hot weather, 1 p.m. with just breakfast. Maybe they could have organized some fruits with them and then try to take the medicals and everything here. And I believe that even at the hospital, the doctor, so these are things that happen in association sports.
Yeah, MFA, so that was CAF assessor there talking about.
It's time for Around the Country, and Joseph Okable joins me in the studio. Joseph, let's start from the Ashanti region where
residents have called for support to tackle the destructive activities. They rely heavily on agriculture and say that the nomads are destroying their crops in their farms. Situations.
Roofs of more than 700 houses. What are the details?
This happened at Achimodan in the Brim Central Municipality. It has rendered many homeless.
As of last night, we were with them at the hospital.
Okay.
But then the total number of persons who are downtown, structures like schools, their buildings, the buildings were ripped off of their roofing. Schools, churches.
Stay a while longer in the eastern region because there's a story of goat theft.
Yes, a man was beaten to death after he was caught stealing a goat. There's actually a footage of the inn where some residents in 5 coastal communities have been rendered homeless as a result of tidal waves. This affected
with around the country. Let's do politics now. And Majority Leader Osei Mensah-Bonsu has cautioned his party, the NPP, to guard against selecting to validation of the narrative about the party being biased towards the Akan tribe and does not value other ethnic groups.
Immediately after 2 Akans, Kufuor has been the president. Kufuor follows from the eastern region, and there's a 3rd Akan, by some as an overly Akanistic party.
Then you don't think that Alan Chemantin should be going
not everybody agrees.
Support the Vice President Baumia if he decides to go because he's not an Akan?
Well, neck out. I would stick my neck out. For now, we must be working. Oh, it was the fault of John Bodu. It was the fault of Freddie Blade. It was the fault of repeat what went wrong as far as the party's organization is concerned. And government should also up its level.
And he says that it looks like he's come to the end of the road for that position as organizer. It's time for someone else.
Young man, a very dedicated person to the cause of the party. I have learned.
He still hold
However,
that position.
he's one of the persons.
How about John Bodu? Can you say something for him?
John is good as well. Wants to continue what it is that maybe I think he can up his level.
That's the Majority Leader and Minister for Parliamentary Affairs, Osei Mensah-Bonsu, and fishermen in Osu are confident of wholesale sales following the event, are eager to regain the trust of customers. Now, Executive Director of the Fisheries Commission, Arthur Dazi, says
stagnant. The sea is moving. So, in the unlikely event that what happened at Osu might be, without admitting, into, if it's drifting towards the east, into Togo, Benin, or Nigeria.
That's the Fisheries Commission there speaking to us earlier. Mapitso Sibidi Wharton
of inmates at Osamkrom prisons in the central region, serving over 100 inmates. He's
because we have inspired a lot of people. People donate for us. Said, look, make the food and go and feed them. Oh, in fact, from all over the world, rocks watching into to follow, because there's a lot of blessings in there, and it feels good to do good. God's work, we say.
Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. There's more news when you log on to myjoyonline.com. And talk of myjoyonline.com, the stories that are making the head. Professor Noah Tego, and I was haunted by my wife's ghost to confess killing her. That's according to a suspect. And some NPP members had planned to lead a score. You want to stay for Relationships Part 9 with Pastor Mensa Otabil. I am Emefa Apau. Have a blessed week. We bring you